Hello, in this video, we're going to use WeVideo and a few other tools to transform an otherwise regular landscape picture into a really dynamic video. So, of course, we're going to start with WeVideo. We're going to start where we create a project. And as always, I like to set up my tracks first. So I'm going to go down here to this little line and pull it up, give myself more room for my tracks. I'm going to then move my video track up by clicking these three dots and clicking Move Up. Then I'm going to add a video text track and another one. And I'm going to add another one I may not. And now that I've erased all the big parts, it's time to tackle the more precise parts. Now, the nice thing about this tool is you don't have to be stuck with this little tiny window. I can go ahead and click the little plus button here and zoom in. Really good. And when I do this, I notice that I don't see the rest of the image. I need to click my right arrow and left arrow and down arrow and up arrow to be able to see the whole image. So this is looking a little bit blurry, but I'm going to work with this anyways. So once I get close enough, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and choose a smaller tool, and maybe I'll choose this one here just to see what happens. So I'm going to get pretty close, but notice I'm staying a good distance from the actual mountain, like that. And I can do the same thing here with the water. I can kind of make sure that I have a little bit of a line. I want to get rid of that buffer, but I just don't want to make any mistakes. So I'm going to go through this entire image and do that. And then when I get closest in, then I'm going to choose the smaller tool. And then that's where I'm just going to very slowly and carefully, and see, I do a little bit, then I let go. Then I do a little bit, then I let go. And the smaller the tool, the more precise you can be. So this takes a little while, takes a little bit of practice, but if you concentrate, it won't take that long, and you'll end up with a very clean image. But notice how I still have this blue. I probably want to zoom in even more and go with even a smaller tool and really get very precise. So I just see the mountain. So, and I'm going to do that along this entire mountain range. And now that I've taken a few minutes to do that, this is what I'm left with. I've got the mountains, I've got a tiny bit of foreground, these little hills that are in front of the mountains, and I've erased what was the lake, and I've erased what was the sky. So I also want to look and make sure, sometimes you'll see like little dots and stuff, like where you've accidentally missed something. They might be hard to see in this view, but when you render the view, if they're still there, then you're going to see them. Like I see a dot down here, so I just want to go down there. There we go. And I erase that little dot. And any little dots you see, just kind of take a quick scan, and you want to get rid of them. So now I'm going to click Apply Changes. Apply these changes. There we go. So I'm going to use this video in my WeVideo. So I'm going to go ahead and save it. So I'm going to just do Save Image As, and these are the Teton. I have that Teton. There we go. All right, so I've got the video saved. Now let's go over to WeVideo. Now I'm going to import this video. So here's my screen. The only thing I've done so far on WeVideo is added my layers, so I have enough layers to use. And let's go ahead and import. Browse to select. And it's this one right here. So I know by the fact that it's got a black screen around it, that basically means that there's nothing around it. It's just what I had erased. So notice these dots here. Those hopefully won't show up. We'll see if they do. If they do, we can always fix it. But I'm going to go ahead and drag my image down. Let's put it here in video 2, like this. And then I'm going to make it as long as I want. Let's just make it about 30 seconds. So for 30 seconds, this image is going to show up. Now, obviously, there's nothing to show right now. So when I play it, nothing happens. So what I want to do is add a stormy sky to this image. So let's go to Videos, and let's click on Stormy Sky. Why not? Let's do Stormy Sky. So I've got a bunch of different choices here, and take a few minutes, look through. I want to find one that's got a lot of motion, that kind of looks ominous or scary, that looks kind of crazy. I don't want anything that's got foreground. I just want the clouds that are moving. That's pretty neat. This one here has got a foreground. This one here is pretty good. Let's see, that's pretty cool, but it's got a foreground. So let's go with this one right here. I kind of like this one. So I'm going to go ahead and drag this one down. I put this one here in video 2, like this. So notice that I don't see any of the mountains because I have the stormy sky. So let's just fix these layers. Maybe I got them backwards. There we go. Okay, good. So I've got the mountains and the sky, and if I play it, I've got it like this, which, I mean, it looks okay, but actually looks pretty lame. So I need to do a few things. So I notice also that I've got this edge here. The mountains are smaller than my screen. How I fix that is I just double click on the mountains and I come up here to scale. And when I click on the dot, I'm going to notice that I get this box that appears. Well, it should appear. I make it smaller. There we go. There's the box. I actually want to make the scale bigger so it's bigger than the screen. So there we go. I'm going to leave it like that. So we'll click done. And then I also want to do the scale of the sky because I don't want the sky to cover all of the stuff on the bottom. So we'll go ahead and double click the sky and we'll do scale of the sky. And this way I can do a couple things. I can minimize it, but I also can just drag it up out of the screen. And that way everything below the mountains is still black. Basically it's transparent. Everything above the mountains is that sky. So now if I click done and play it, then I've got these kind of crazy looking clouds behind the mountains. And I do notice that they're a little bit offset over here. So let's go back and move this over a little bit. There we go. Good. Now let's get some moving water here for the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and look for water. Now, another idea is I could put lava or something else, really anything of neat motion I could put here. So I want to give kind of like a neat dramatic effect. So I'm looking for water. Obviously, I don't want this water. This water might do. This water, I'm looking straight down, so that won't do. So I want to take a few minutes and find a water view that looks pretty cool, that might be emblematic of what I'm looking at. So let's just go ahead and do this one just for good measure. So I'm going to take this one here and I'm going to drag it down. There we go. And because the water layer is below the cloud layer, it is actually taking up the whole screen, but it's not going to show on the whole screen. It's just going to be like this. However, I probably do want to adjust the scale of the water a little bit if I can. Well, maybe not. It is what it is. So, but I may want to move it around and see if I like it a little bit better. So, click done. All right. So here we go. Now, the question is, could I do a better job? Probably so. In fact, now that I look at these clouds, because there's so much light on the mountains, that really doesn't look very good. So maybe I'll get rid of the clouds and let's just do, let's do blue sky cloud, something like that. And no, I want a lot of motion here. So now this one here does have a foreground, and I said earlier that you don't want a foreground. It actually kind of doesn't matter, and I'll show you why. So it's actually kind of cool. But let me show you the foreground thing first. So wherever that one was. That's pretty neat. Well, oh, which one has a foreground? Well, either way. Oh, here we go. Foreground. All right, so this one here has a foreground. I could use this because if I pull it down like this, then I just need to make sure that it is behind this layer. Oh, I know what I need to do. So basically, I just need to double click this one and then just move it up. And so as long as the other mountains are covered, then it doesn't really matter. So then I have it like this. So I can definitely obscure those background mountains. So is this perfect? No, I actually would probably be looking for a better front layer because this water looks like it's too close up. But you get the idea of how to do this. It's kind of a neat way of taking an image and making it into something better. Now, obviously, this one just cut off and I lost this bottom part. A couple things I can do is I could just copy this bottom clip and then duplicate it, or I probably would just find a longer clip. But for right now, this is what I've got. Mountains, got a background, and a foreground that are both changed. They're all different layers. I can add some audio and have a really cool video. So I hope this helps. Good luck.